So, first blood this morning to the West Indies. Daren Powell has struck with his third delivery of the day, and Stuart Broad is out there probably earlier than he would have hoped. No mug with the bat, Stuart Broad. And from England's point of view now, they want him to play his part in this coming partnership with Matt Prior. Prior is 32 not out, Broad about to face his first ball. 241 for 6. Could be slightly dangerous for England if it all goes wrong from here on in. Awkward first ball.
Yeah, cricketers often talk about tennis ball bounce, where the ball sits in the surface and just stands up and asks to be hit. And Flintoff just couldn't make his mind up. Was he going to whack it over the man? Was he going to roll his wrists and keep it down? He did neither. And a little bit like Alistair Cook yesterday, he hit it flat straight to a fielder. And that is a big, big blow for England.
Nicely timed, just straight to mid-off. Well, Matt Prior's role becomes all the more important now. 32 runs from 65 balls so far. Well, that's the way through cover. That's how to play the shot. Second boundary of the morning for Matt Prior. 246 for 6. Another good delivery, good line. Chris played against the West Indies in England, 1984, I think. He played the series there, and as I was saying now about Stuart, used his height well to combat the pace, and it was a good series for him. It wasn't a great series for us as a whole, I remember, and therefore you've got to sort of take into account he wasn't making 500 runs in the series, but he looked the part, and he was very, very good against pace. It's a fabulous shot, absolutely fabulous shot. Absolutely nothing wrong with that one. It's raced away for 4, and it's brought up to 250. 251 for 6 now.
Very good balance. Didn't try and hit it too hard. Again, into out, opens the face, finds the gap. Very, very sweet.
Going back to your question, Chris Broad played against the West Indies in England in 2 series, 84 and 88. We came here in 86 to the Caribbean for another shellacking. Didn't win many of those. And we brought Tim Robinson, who'd played in India and got runs, played against Australia in 85, got a lot of runs in that series. Ashes winning series, he says quickly. And therefore he had possession of the slot coming to the Caribbean in 86, but it didn't work for Tim here. And you could argue, actually, it's always interesting looking back on these things, selection policies, the reasons for picking people. We'd actually dropped Broad after the 84 series because we were going to India, and Tim, both of them played at Nottingham at the time, both of them opening bats at Nottingham, and Tim had a better record, or it looked better against spin, so we took him to India and he actually did pretty well there. That was 84-5, kept his place 85 against Australia, did well. Started with a big 100 at Headingley in the first test of that series. And so I suppose we felt as selectors that he'd earned the right to keep that place coming to the Caribbean. But opening the batting in the Caribbean in 1986, let's face it, wasn't going to be easy for anyone. And it certainly wasn't easy for Tim, who had a torrid time of it. It's a nice shot, very straight, just to the mid-off side of the stumps. Not quite enough on it to reach the boundary, but Stuart Broad is now off the mark.
Yeah, again, the boundary's slow. The England batsman Peterson last night in an interview said that 230, 240 was actually worth more like 300, just 23 boundaries yesterday to go with the 6, 23 fours to go with the 6. So England not out of this game, but they would like their tail to get them up past 300, up towards 350. West Indies will be thinking about turning to spin again at some stage with a left-hander in. Sulliman Benn bowling into the rough against Broad is an option. Big passage of play coming up.
Straight to gully, and Sulliman Benn takes the catch. So Broad goes. The West Indies have picked up their second wicket for the morning. The new ball is doing the job for them. 256 for 7.
Good start for the West Indies. The new ball's doing the job, but the new ball bowlers are putting that new ball exactly where they want to. They've bowled a full length, tried to get the ball swinging. They haven't looked to pepper England. At the moment it's working for them. Flintoff gone earlier on, Stuart Broad slicing the catch to gully, the easiest of chances for Sulliman Benn. Disappointment for Broad. England 7 down now for 256.
Another left-hander comes in around side bottom to replace Stuart Broad, just out caught in the gully. So the West Indies have done well this morning. Just have the one over from Sulliman Benn, and then the new ball taken. Powell's got Flintoff, and now Taylor has picked up Broad. Side bottom back in Test cricket, hasn't played since the England summer. Played against South Africa in England during the summer, so he's had a long break from Test cricket through injury. In the team, not so much for his batting, of course, but for his swing bowling.
The end of Broad, it just a bit of off-cut on the delivery, whether it was a genuine slower ball, but you can see there was just an off-cut, bit of off-spin, and it definitely held up on the pitch. And Broad too early in the stroke. I don't think he read the ball out of the hand and just slicing it to gully. So a good piece of bowling from Jerome Taylor. And the West Indies deserve this success. I was impressed with them yesterday, and they've come out this morning and done the business with the new ball.
From yesterday, very intelligent bowling by the West Indies. They summed up the pitch very, very quickly. Length and line was ideal. Of course, the majority of the bowling done by Gale and Benn. Fast bowlers have now picked up 2 wickets early on today, as they did yesterday. Same 2 bowlers, Taylor and Powell. Taylor picking up Strauss early yesterday, and Powell, Alistair Cook, and now they've done the same today. Just looking to get out of the way and wearing it on the body. 2:56 for 7 at the end of the over. Just past the keeper and off the pad. Umpire Hill will signal 4 leg byes to end off the over at 261 for 7.
Do you think the lessons of the World Cup will be learnt? The West Indies have another go, don't they, at a kind of worldwide competition. The World 2020 is in the Caribbean next year. Do you think it'll be a more joyous occasion?
Well, it should be. There are only 3 venues for the 2020, and it's both men's and women's 2020 World Championship. Barbados, St. Lucia and Guyana. But you just wonder if lessons are learned, because here the public address system has said on a couple of occasions yesterday and today that there are no pass outs here, so that if you're in the ground and you leave or have to leave for any reason, you've got to pay to come back in. In other words, they're prisoners in here, the spectators. I mean, you're trying to bring spectators into the ground and then telling them that once you get in, you can't get back out unless you pay and come back in. That's inadvertent, taking the bat away, and we'll get 4 runs for it. No third man gets him off the mark, but very uncertain. Carries England on to 274 for 7 now. Now I'm not altogether certain, as we see this attempt to withdraw the bat, and off the middle it goes down to third man by side bottom. Not sure if it's an International Cricket Council regulation. I'm not sure why that has been brought in, but there must be some explanation for it. But it's not immediately obvious to me, or I dare say for many spectators who may want to leave. Ends the over, 274 for 7.
There. Mid-on had gone wider, and Pryor, for the first time, hits the ball through the onside for a boundary.
Took that from just about middle and off. Hit it superbly. Almost everything has come from the middle of the bat today. There have been 1 or 2 edges, 1 past second slip. Does put pressure on the bowler here with just 2 men on the leg side. Got to be careful about his line.
Well, that's why now she's out on the boundary in a position at deep point.
We talked yesterday and we talked this morning about being too straight to certain batsmen, but also there's a tendency or theory to bowl maybe a foot and a half outside the off stump to Kevin Peterson, who's so strong through the onside. Now to apologies to viewers wherever you are in the world for the brief loss of our commentary feed.
Some might have been happy.
suppose long may it continue. Anyway, you talked about line. How different is that off-stump line to Pryor, in addition to other things, as compared to Kevin Peterson as a seamer?
Well, when you think about batsmen who are very strong through the onside, Bish, and you say that you have got to bowl wide above stump, you have to be careful of which batsman, because someone like Matt Pryor, give him too much width outside the off stump and he'll punish you as well. You won't be that close enough to the off stump that he can play behind the square. The less room he has, the more difficult it is for him to play the ball behind square. The man that's out on the point boundary is almost dead square or fractionally in front of square. He's pretty strong on the onside as well. I think Matt Pryor is a very good batsman. You know, he scores his runs all around. So you don't want to be too straight. That is what makes it difficult. But if the captain sets an even field in that there's no strong bias towards the offside, you can bowl reasonably straight as just a delivery that is perhaps not the right one, but something that got away from you, and you won't be punished. If you have too lopsided a field, if it's too heavily biased towards the offside for Matt Pryor, and you're trying to bowl close to off stump, he'll work you on that onside and you'll pay for it. So it's a matter more of field placing by the captain to help the bowler.
To 86 for 7. Nice shot. Just the one. Mr. Holding is a man of great influence. It's one of your, I suppose, pet hates, I suppose, over the years, Mike, isn't it?
One of many. But you were on the cricket committee at the same time, Bish, when it was being discussed. It's gone overboard, man, with these people just walking on and off the field and doing as they like. Just getting confirmation now from the third umpire, Darrell Harper, that it is in force. You just cannot walk off the field when you feel like and get a substitute. You have to leave the field for a genuine injury.
There was just a little bit of talk yesterday about a couple of different paces at which the ball came off the track from the players. Whether that's because it's hit a crack or just a harder part of the surface. That certainly took off a little bit more than one or two previous deliveries. Bounce was a little steeper.
Very interesting, everyone referring to that one taking off. That was the usual story here at Sabina. That was normal at Sabina years ago. Good pace and a good carry. Not many times you would see wicketkeepers taking balls down by their ankles here at Sabina Park. No, that's the norm, taking it low down, and the odd one that comes up by the waist is one that everyone considers to have taken off. No, times have changed.
Could be tight. Home easily in the end. 288 for 7, and Pryor keeps strike.
Good shot, but good catch. Good catch by Sulliman Benn. So many people have said it in the past. He's such a good fielder to his own bowling.
Outstanding. Outstanding catch. He's a big man, 6 feet 7 inches tall, big hands, but the reaction had to be quick. Important wicket, vital wicket of Matt Pryor, who looked so dominant. It went quickly, and he just snatched it out of the air. Doesn't Ben deserve that? Bowled without a great deal of luck yesterday. Good innings from Matt Pryor for 64 to 88 for 8. bounce and turn from Ben. But a good catch to dismiss Pryor.
Good reactions. Lots of times you see spin bowlers look at batsmen who are charging at them and think, well, this might be coming back a bit too fiercely for me. Not Sulliman Benn. Lots of variation from Sulliman Benn, not just for spin, but have a look at where he delivered that ball from. His front foot was almost in line with the stumps. What that does, of course, is just make the ball take a bit longer to get to the batsman and helps with the variation of pace. A wicket maiden to 88 for 8.
Now this should be out. Oh, Shivnarine Chandapal, usually very, very safe in the field. And that will be a source of embarrassment.
Misjudged it, Shiv. Once he turned his back, you had to realize that he misjudged it. Right through his hands. Took a long time to start moving, and that meant that he then had to turn around to make proper ground. Well, he's pointing to the sun, but I don't think that's new. It's always been there.
Slightly differing positions depending on time of day.
Yeah.
over. And like
$300 for 8.
Keep up.
it's good running. That's a fine shot. It's through the gap at extra cover. Just slows up in the last 10 metres or so before the boundary.
This outfield has been as slow as I've seen it here. It's very thick, the grass. Normally you'd expect that to go all the way, and I think Ryan Sidebottom was as well. He got out the middle of the bat, thought he had 4. But as you say, the last third of the journey, it slows down dramatically. It's well bowled. Put that man in on the drive after that last shot. Almost tempted him.
Yeah, look at the flight on that. And it didn't quite carry.
His turn with that last delivery. It's 304 for 8. Good shot. Won't go to the boundary, but pick up 2. Just over pitching slightly.
Well, I wouldn't worry about this too much if I was Sulliman Benn. What's nice from his point of view is he's got the silly point in there now. Hope he stays there. Just because he overpitched by a couple of feet there, all he has to do is drag it back just that little bit, and those close fielders will play a part. That's what he's done. A little bit shorter, good length there, but a lot of indecision for Ryan Sidebottom, who didn't know it was going to turn, go straight on. He just got caught there. Wasn't quite sure what he was doing.
Get him now!
The element of risk there. There's a man leg slip, short leg. I think it was off the arm guard, not the glove, I think.
He's bowling well, and Sidebottom is doing his best to cope. I think the previous shot, it was the greater danger was inside edge onto pad, and then the short leg comes into play. When he hangs back like this, with that looping delivery from Benn, he's not quite sure whether to go right out forward or go right back. He gets stuck in the middle, and there's just an element of hope there as to where the ball goes next. I hope it goes safely.
There's also no one out at mid-wicket. It's an area that you might think about. Probably not now, as lunch break looms upon us. Shouts to catch it, doesn't go to hand. Another frustrating over.
Catch him!
Oh, the catch. Was there a glove? Did it carry?
Well, the reaction of the people around the bat says, well, they certainly thought there was something involved here. Let's have a look. Glove, pad, glove, and that really should be taken. As the catches go in that position, that's one of the easier ones, I fancy.
Yeah, he could have gone two hands. He went one-handed. He had a lot more time than he thought.
Catch it.
Still an area the West Indies have to work on. They've been sloppy with their ground fielding. And now a very simple short leg chance. Two hands, pretty much a dolly, you have to say.
Easy single. There's a man dropping out to mid-wicket for Harmison. Captain Chris Gale putting 3 men out on the onside.
Again past the edge. That's that slider that he bowls that got Ian Bell out. Sulliman Benn to the left-hander. He hasn't bowled as well to the left-hander as he has done to the right. He hasn't got his pace quite right.
Catch him!
It's better. A little bit of a loop, get the left-hander prodding forward. That will entice side bottom as well. Tailenders love it. Their eyes light up when the ball goes up. Toss a few up, Sulliman Benn.
Catch him! Good boy, Benny!
Going over. They've still got one referral left in this innings. Remember, there's 2 unsuccessful referrals allowed. They used one up yesterday with a Paul Collingwood appeal, so the captain still has one up his sleeve.
If he remembers. Turn and the bounce, though. Quite right, it's going to go way over the top of the stumps.
Full and straight now. His finger is going, yes! The change has worked. Will Harmison refer it? Yes, he has. A referral from Steve Harmison. The number 10 is using up the referrals.
Well, my immediate reaction was it sliding down leg side? And I think that's what Steve Harmison is thinking.
So the procedure here, first of all, the third umpire, Darrell Harper, will look and see if it's a no ball. No, that's not going to save Harmison. And then he'll get Hawkeye, he'll get the replay. And this will all be information that can be passed on. Now, is that missing leg or not? Darrell Harper will ask for the Hawkeye, and with the Hawkeye he won't get the predictive element, he'll just get that. The third umpire has it pitched inside, yes. He's got to help Rudy Kurtzen, suggest to Rudy Kurtzen whether it would go on to hit leg stump or miss leg stump. Now what the third umpire has to give Rudy Kurtzen is something definitive, i.e. there was an inside edge or 100% it was going to miss leg stump. If there's any doubt, I think Rudy Kurtzen will have to keep the decision as out. It has to be something seriously obvious, Syrian, for him to change the decision, overrule the decision.
Oh, watch the space, as they say. Where would you go, Nas, for that? If you're the third umpire's chair, what would you say?
Well, I would say it might be going down the leg side, but there's nothing definite for me to say change your mind, and that's why the finger goes up. That's the way the system works. The third umpire has to say, definitely not out. And he couldn't say that, so the decision on the ground stands.
Steve Armisen then eventually is out for 7. It's 313 for 9.
Monty Panesar, the new batsman, coming in at number 11. That could be very close as well. Pascal has still got one up his sleeve because it was a successful referral, so he's still got one left.
There it is. It does dip in, and that's what Steve Armisen would be thinking. Has it gone down the leg side? Well, Mokai says it's going to hit leg stump, so
wide. That's a beautiful shot from side bottom. Driven for 4. 318 for 9.
and enjoyed by the crowd. And always a little bit of advice for you afterwards. Width, put away.
Now, was that pad first? Yes, it was. Now Panesar should ask for it. He's got one referral left.
Well, I think he thinks he hit it. Let's have a look. So first thing we look at is the foot. Well, that's no problem whatsoever. And now, well, he's hit it, but after the pad.
So there's no way from the first view that the umpire can overturn the on-field umpire. You would suggest from that it could be sliding down the leg side maybe, but probably it's going to go on and hit the stumps. So again, there's nothing definite that the third umpire can see that he can change or overrule the decision. And remember, the ICC have deemed that the predictive path cannot be used. That's all the third umpire is given. Now he's trying to work out from that angle, is that ball going on to hit the stumps?
Well, he'd have to say it's going to clip leg stump, and that's the end of it. I think Monty Panesar was saying he hit it. Well, he did, but not until after it hit the pad. I expect this to be given this.
Third umpire sees no reason to change the decision of the on-field umpire, and hence Panesar has gone. The referral system has worked. Ben has his 4th wicket, and England has been bowled out for 318.